Welcome to this presentation on 15 special oil blends that Gary Young created throughout the years. I call this unofficial collection because there is no kit containing these 15 oils, the 15 essential oil blends that are supporting spirituality and self-development. My name is Aditya Nordny. I'm from Hamburg, Germany, born in Salzburg, Austria, working with the wonderful Young Living oils for many years, since 2009, and working as a meditation teacher since 1984. I've been teaching people how to meditate, 145,000 people altogether over more than 30 years. So this is why I make this bridge between spiritual development and essential oils. Now, if you're not that much into spirituality, but you know the necessity to develop as a human being, you're welcome as well, because essential oils can totally, without any hocus pocus, any spirituality, any God background, can help you to grow as a human being, to grow as a person. Essential oils are the gift of Mother Nature. They have been used already 4,500 years before Christ. We know that King Solomon had the cedar wood oil in use in his kingdom, and they have been an important part of people's everyday life for hundreds of years. Of course, only for those who had the knowledge how to use these ethereal essences, and that's a catchphrase. Essential oils have an ethereal aspect. In India, in yoga, this is called the Akasha sphere, the ethereal sphere, where there's a lot of information recorded. And that means oils can be a conveyor of higher information. Oils can be a transporter and transceiver and transmitter of information on the ethereal plane, on the Akashic plane. Latest scientific researchers prove pure essential oils can give the same benefits to animals and human beings as they give to plants. They are the natural helpers which we derive from plants. Young Living essential oils are, as you know, cultivated with love, distilled with air pressure or steam pressure that is as low as possible, because the higher the steam pressure that is being used, the more there can be physical damage to the molecules of the essential oils. So what does it mean to distill with a low pressure? It means that the distillation process takes longer. Now, many commercial oil producers, they use high steam pressures, high air pressure to get more out of it, efficiency, to make more money in a short time. Now, that's not what Young Living is doing. Young Living is taking the time that is necessary, using the lowest possible steam pressure. And of course, for oils that we use for ourselves and for our energy and spiritual development, 100% pure, 100% natural. Those are the oils Young Living is offering in their product line. The most significant difference between oils that simply scent nicely and are often diluted with low quality, or even diluted with synthetic oils, and on the other hand, pure essential oils which are full of natural high-grade active agents, lie in the supporting and balancing properties of therapeutic-grade essential oils. So what are Young Living's requirements? High-quality plants and absolute purity. No poisons, no toxins, no chemicals. Outstanding soil conditions. Ideally, soils that for more than 100 years have provenly not been contaminated with chemicals. Diligent processing and distillation. High internal quality standards. And regular controls in a gas phase chromatograph. and regular controls in a gas chromatograph. How do you use essential oils? In general, you can inhale them. So what you do, you take a drop and you can either inhale directly from the bottle, or you can activate the oil 1, 2, 3 clockwise, and then you inhale from the palms of your hands. You can spray the oils or diffuse the oils. Spray them from spray bottle. Can be mixed in water, ideally distilled water, because the oils are distilled, and in distilled water the oils merge nicer. Now, that is not the same like to emulsify an oil, which you would do for bathing, for example. Then you need an emulsifier, like a salt or like cream or like honey. To diffuse them, of course, you would use one of Young Living's great and very functional oil diffusers, which diffuse at a low temperature so as not to harm the molecules of the oils. You can, of course, add essential oils to air humidifiers. You can use them for steam applications. You can use them in the sauna. You can use them for showering. You actually rub yourself full body with an oil and then you shower, and the water drives the oil deeper into your body. However, I don't recommend you to use any citric oils like lemon or grapefruit. You would, it's really the wrong thing to use lemon oil, for example, or any citric oil for that matter, and then you touch yourself with water, because that's a hot experience. Also, you should not use known hot oils like oregano, like thyme, like basil, like cinnamon, or like clove, or like cassia, for using them directly on your skin undiluted, and then maybe even pouring water on it, because that's really a hefty experience you will get. Okay, so these were the warnings. You can apply oils topically on reflexology points, but also on chakras, on energy points. You can use oils for massage. And when combined with V6 or olive oil or any other vegetable oil, essential oils that are too intense can be applied to various parts of the body. So how do you find out if an oil is too intense? Well, I always recommend you go to the sensitive skin of your upper arm, apply the oil there, and have a diluting oil like olive oil or V6 oil blend ready to put on. And if within half a minute you see a reddening of the skin or maybe a rash, or you feel actually the oil burning, then you should dilute the oil. If the oil does not harm you on that very sensitive skin in terms of reddening of the skin, developing a rash or a stingy feeling, then the oil is mild enough that you can apply it basically on any part of your body. Otherwise, again, combine with V6 or any other plant oil, vegetable oil for dilution. Also, oils can be combined with Young Living's special massage oils like Ortho-Ease, Ortho-Sport, Cell-Lite, Magic to use during or after the massage. And when used as perfume, and these 15 oils that you're going to get to know in this presentation are sensational perfumes as well. You will incorporate naturalism. It will make you feel very natural. And actually it will make people feel about you when they smell your perfume. This is natural. This is not like alcohol and chemicals and, so strong that you're basically suffocating. Essential oils as perfumes are sensational for attraction. So you might attract not only your partner for life, you might attract also sensational people for your team, for business partners. You might become very attractive because we human beings, we communicate subconsciously a lot through the nose. And when we like somebody by the nose, when we can smell somebody and the person smells good to us, then we are attracted to that person. So I invite you to experiment with these 15 oil blends and see which type of people are you attracting into your life, and you will be surprised. Of course, these oil blends will give you a lot of harmony and also heighten your sensuality. Sensuality in a spiritual sense, because we have also inner senses, spiritual senses, but also sensuality in a physical sense, the 5 senses of the body. Number one of my absolute favorites, Abundance. Abundance is an oil blend that incorporates the 8 single oils that were known in ancient times already to be the scents for wealth. So this goes back to Babylonia. Orange, ginger, clove, cinnamon bark, frankincense, myrrh, and spruce and patchouli. Now, myrrh and frankincense, of course, they are like God the Father, frankincense, and God the Mother, myrrh. Then spruce, shooting high up a very straight tree, giving you height, reaching straight up. Patchouli, giving you grounding. Patchouli, not by accident, has been the perfume of choice of the hippie generation, because hippies were a little bit spaced out sometimes, or many times, and patchouli gave them exactly that warmth, that holding, that grounding them, that giving them a place on Mother Earth and giving them a feeling of safety. Then you have ginger and orange, which is also a very interesting combination. The fruity, fresh smells of orange, which give joy, which are very sensual. Orange oil is often used in department stores in the AC because orange scent creates an impulse to buy. If you ever have been to a shopping mall and suddenly you had the feeling, I'm not going out of here until I bought something, then that's exactly what orange oil does. It gives you the impulse to want to consume something, to want to buy something. And then again, ginger is the other side of it, because this is after oil balance for abundance. So ginger is a little bit astringent. It helps you not only to spend like orange does, it helps you also to hold together. If you want to master wealth, you need both. You need to spend or invest in the right rhythm, but you also need to hold it together. And then, of course, we have clove and cinnamon, which are, again, 2 brothers or 2 sisters. That's why I grouped these 8 oils in 4 pairs. Cinnamon being the most solar of all the plants. With cinnamon, you get access to the energy of the sun. And clove, another very interesting woodsy oil that is very protecting. And I could, of course, speak about these 8 single oils and about this blend for the whole seminar, for the whole webinar, for the whole presentation, but we have 14 other oils to go. So what does abundance do? It has been created by Gary Young especially to support the law of attraction, which means we can attract anything into our lives, and we do. You can ask for trouble, and trouble will come into your life. You can always feel a victim, always feel you're the loser, you get less, and guess what happens? You will be the loser, you will be the victim. Things will go awry for you. And you can also feel the winner. You can feel naturally things come to your way. And guess what? Things are coming your way. Now, think of abundance, the oil blend, as an amplifier of your thoughts. And that's why I also caution you, how do you use abundance? Please use it only when you have your thoughts under control. When you know you can think positively. When you know you can think in terms of wealth. Don't use abundance when you have poverty programmings. Don't use abundance when you have a victim mentality. Don't use abundance when you feel you're a loser, life is not treating you kindly, because it just attracts whatever is in you, and it multiplies whatever is in you. So abundance can be a great friend, and I urge you, in your home office or in your business place, put a drop of abundance in each corner of the room once a month, like a ritual, and focus while you're placing the drop there in each of the four corners, and you imagine you're creating a field in the whole room. Imagine how wealth gets attracted. Imagine how you are giving value to people, to the world, and imagine how, as a return, money comes your way, wealth comes your way, abundance comes your way. So always feed this field of abundance in your business rooms, in your office, in your home, in your workshop, in your store, by placing it at the four corners, one drop of abundance. If you do a fair, if you do an expo, I recommend you to do the same. Place a drop of abundance in each of the four corners of your expo stand, of your expo booth. Abundance offers you, when you use it in the right way, again, I remind you, it has to do with the thoughts you're thinking. And it will attract to you what your thoughts are focused on. It offers you when you learn how to use these abundant possibilities in every field of your life. This essential oil blend has been created to increase the frequency of the magnetic energy field that surrounds us. Abundance can be used for emotional purposes, diffused in the diffuser, inhaled, applied on the chakras. Here I recommend you apply it on your heart and on your forehead energy centers. And if you have it licensed for internal consumption as a Young Living Vitality oil, tastes delicious with water, tea, rice, or goat milk. Being from Europe, I don't know the situation in various markets. If this is an oil which is already released as a vitality oil, in general, for this presentation, whenever it is a vitality oil, it can be ingested. It can be used as a food supplement. If and when this oil does not exist as a Young Living Vitality oil, then it should not be used for internal consumption. Now I'm taking you on the journey. We started with understanding the law of attraction, which creates abundance, which creates also poverty when used in the right or in the wrong way. The law of attraction creates everything for us. Now, by understanding the universal principles, and the law of attraction is probably the most important principle to understand on your journey of self-development. The second oil is now, how do you start? And the best quality to start with is hope. It's a very interesting oil blend of melissa, juniper, which have been used already by monks and nuns in Europe in medieval times to protect against bad spirits, as they called it, to keep a holy energy with people. And then myrrh, which has been used already in ancient times and which is an excellent, really softening oil. This is really the one oil which is softness like no other oil. And in fact, when you're hardened in your shell, which is what many people do, they get hardened, they develop in their muscles a tension to protect themselves. But the problem is, you're not only holding away from yourself what might attack you, you're also keeping away the possibilities. So now, to be hopeful, actually you have to be soft. You have to soften up. And that's why myrrh is included. Then of course you have spruce. And as I indicated to you already with abundance, spruce has this quality, this energy that goes straight up. So just giving you some ideas of the included single oils. And of course, you can see many other aspects. These are just some aspects that I'm laying out to you here. It just shows you the genius of Gary Young, how he's formulating his oil blends. I recommend you to use hope for hand inhalation. massage on the outer edges of your ears, which is very interesting, because sometimes we are not hearing properly. Sometimes we are deaf. And if we want to be hopeful, it's very important that we hear that the energy fields of our ears are activated, that we get elephant ears. This is a little spiritual, what I'm telling you now. And this is something, if you apply hope regularly on the rims of your ears, then you will understand what I just said. It will make you more alert. It will make you more open to opportunity. It will make you more hopeful. You can also apply it on the wrists and on the neck. Wonderful oil for using as a perfume or deodorant. This essential oil, hope, helps you to get in touch with feelings of strength and at the same time grounding while reviving your hope for a greater future. Hope stabilizes our emotions and allows us to open our hearts to the happiness awaiting us. That's a good thing. This is exactly hopefully looking forward. Hopefully you are looking forward that it's happiness that is awaiting you. And hope helps you to open yourself to that. It may support you in overcoming serious and dark thoughts, which is maybe why Melissa and Juniper have been used by the Druids and in the centuries of the Christian monasteries by monks and nuns to drive away evil or dark energies, as they called them. Now, number 3 on the journey, you've become hopeful, you've understood the law of attraction. Now it's time to get motivated. If you want to move, you need to learn how to motivate yourself. Now, people who don't learn the art of motivation, and in my training program, Relaunch, and also this is a book, Relaunch, the first of 21 strategies that I'm alluding to in this book, Relaunch, and in this online training program, Relaunch, I speak about self-motivation. That's the key quality for real success. Because achievers, top performers, are people who can self-motivate and who motivate themselves every day anew, and who are also able to motivate people around them, to motivate their team, to motivate their crew, to motivate the people that work with them. So, sensational oil, and if you know my book, Network Marketing Relaunch, or my online training, Network Marketing Relaunch, this is exactly the oil that is what I recommend. It helps you to conquer fear. Why are we not stepping into the new? Because we are afraid. What will happen? What will come? Well, you have to be, in the words of William Shakespeare, and we come to him later, we have to become a conqueror of the future. We have to go into the future, no fear allowed. Fear does not help us go forwards. But if we are fearful, or if we are lazy, we procrastinate. And then procrastination in itself becomes a problem by itself, because you know this terrible energy like not happening, and then the next day it feels even worse, still not happening, and still you procrastinate. And then procrastination in itself becomes a programming. Basically you say, I'm doing it tomorrow. Well, guess what you will say tomorrow? I will do it tomorrow. But now it's the day after tomorrow. What will you say with your programmer? I'll do it tomorrow. So you keep procrastinating into the future, but the future never becomes the now. So motivation is the great oil against procrastination. One of the 3 great oils in this 15 oil presentation that helps you bring things into the now, that helps you to get motivated to do the things right now, creating feelings of action and accomplishment. It enhances our ability to move forward with a positive attitude toward life. Now, very interestingly, very soft oils, Roman chamomile, lavender, ylang ylang, which balances yin and yang, the male and the female, which is very important. Sometimes this is standing in people's ways, that either their yang is too strong or their yin is too strong, or that there is a fight between their femininity and masculinity. No matter if you're a woman or a man, you have both poles in you, and You have to marry them with each other in a harmonious way. Ylang ylang is the oil that helps you do that. And of course, third time, same suspect, the usual suspect, spruce, which makes you straight, which makes you go up straight, but surrounded by this softness of Roman chamomile and lavender. Very soothing. Wonderful blend for aromatic use. A great perfume, gives you a great personal note, but if you wear it around yourself, for example behind the ears, it will always remind you of that important state of self-motivation. Diffuse in the rooms you spend time, or apply topically on the ears, like with Hope, or on the feet. And now very interestingly, with what are we going forward? It's the feet. Now, especially the big toe, the front of the big toe, if you apply that oil, very interesting effect. What is the first part of you, unless you have a really big belly, then maybe the tip of your big belly is the first thing of yours. Well, usually it's your big toe that comes first, and that goes forward. And you put a drop on the right big toe, you put a drop on the left big toe, and you really feel it's pulling you forward. And that's of course on your physical feet, but that has also an energetic and a psychological equivalent of making you want to go forward, of making you want to move, of making you motivated. Oil number 4. Now you have understood some basic principles like the law of attraction, that you are hopeful for the happiness that awaits you, and that you need to motivate yourself. Now we go even one level deeper. What about your beliefs? In what do you believe? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in what you do? Do you have a mission and believe in your mission? Do you believe in your spiritual journey? Do you believe in the people you're working with? Do you believe in the people you're living together with? This refreshing essential oil blend balances and stabilizes emotions. It supports us in times of despair and lifts our awareness to a higher level. By unfolding our boundless potentials, the Believe blend allows us to feel our health, happiness, and strength even more vividly. For me personally, this is one of the absolute super blends. I use it the whole night through in the diffuser which lasts the longest. So depending on the diffusers that you have, try out which one lasts the longest. Put Believe 5 to 7 drops into the diffuser when you go to sleep, and then have it running till it's finished. You will wake up in the morning energized, refreshed by inhaling Believe the whole night through. And you will have a wonderful night because your consciousness may be sleeping, but your subconsciousness is active during sleep. And it's a very important time to strengthen your belief. Also, when you do this, when you diffuse Believe in your sleeping room while you're sleeping, the moments before you fall asleep, think about how much you believe in what you do, how much you believe in your future, how much you believe in your projects, how much you believe in yourself, how much you believe in your children or in the people you're working together with or in your family. And you'll be surprised if you do this for just 1 week. Do 7 Believe nights with this way of going to sleep. And then, of course, feel how you wake up and how great you feel when you wake up after such a Believe night. You'll be amazed what it does for you. By unfolding our boundless potentials, Believe allows us to feel our health, happiness, and strength even more vividly. That will be especially true if you do these 7 Believe nights that I'm suggesting. This blend may also be used for skincare, as it clears and supports our skin. Believe contains the single oils of Idaho balsam fir, Idaho blue spruce, now we have the fir and the spruce together, coriander, which gives a nice spice, rosewood, which is grounding, geranium, which does something with the heart and with your likes and dislikes. Geranium is a very interesting oil. It can make you aware of things that you don't like, things that you have a kind of emotional allergy to. And this is why geranium is an oil that not everybody absolutely loves. It challenges some people with some aspects that they are a little bit allergic with. So this is also very important. There is a reason why geranium is in here, not only for the molecular formula. Of course, Gary Young always looks up in the laboratory how the oils fit together, but also if there's anything you're a little bit at odds with, you're a little bit allergic to, it can weaken your belief. That's why geranium is in there, to make you aware. Ylang ylang, I remind you again, same suspect like here the Idaho blue spruce, again the spruce in this oil, but here again ylang ylang, because you need to balance your femininity, your masculinity, if you want to use your full potential, and your full potential in terms of believing in yourself and in others. Frankincense, of course, again, this most spiritual oil, and bergamot, which is basically a deeper note of orange. It gives you the joys of life, it gives you this sensual feeling, but it has depth as well, the bergamot. It can give a deep dimension. And so if we speak about sensuality in a spiritual sense, really, sensuality in a sexual or erotic sense makes people excited and attracted. Now think about if you could have that principle of sensual attraction on a spiritual, on a deeper level. How much would that fire you to go forward in your development? How attractive would that be? And this is one of the reasons why bergamot is also in belief, because belief is something sexy, if you want to call it like that. Belief also makes you attractive to others. So we could speak about all the ingredients in this plant again for a long time, and if you would speak with Gary Young, probably he would spend an evening about each oil plant, if he had the time, because he's already creating new opportunities, creating new oil blends, creating new farms on the planet. Diffuse, inhale, use for emotional purposes, for bathing. Remember, use an emulsifier like bath salt or milk, cream, or could be also honey, and that helps you that the oil really merges in the water nicely. For topical application, and what does it mean topical? Wherever you like to, I would in this case especially recommend you to use your 7 chakras. Would believe on all the 7 chakras. The 5th oil blend, Envision. Envision encourages renewed faith in the future. Envision enhances creativity and resourcefulness. There's a great note by Tony Robbins. He says, you don't lack resources, you lack in resourcefulness. That means we are often not creative enough to use what we have. Even if you don't have the resources, you can create a lot if you envision it, if you have the vision, if you have the resourcefulness to intelligently use whatever is at your disposal. And what is not at your disposal, it doesn't matter, because you will just use what is at your disposal, because you are resourceful. And you don't start to cry, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, that's why I can't do it. No excuses. Envision where you want to go, and you will reach it. And you have resources, use them when you're resourceful in a creative way. This Envision oil blend endows us with the ability to maintain the emotional fortitude. And you hear me speaking with emotional fortitude, because that's the power that this oil has, necessary to achieve our goals and dreams. If you do not have this emotional fortitude, this strength, you may not get where you want to get. Sometimes in life, for a variety of reasons, people suppress their inner drive. Not good. What does it mean? Well, maybe as a little child you were told, no, you're not allowed to do this. Don't do this. And it was exactly something you had to drive to do. You wanted to do it really badly. And then your father, your mother says, no, don't do it. You're a bad girl, you're a bad boy, don't do it. And it starts to suppress something in you. It starts to suppress a drive in you. Well, and we become grown-ups, and that inner drive may be still suppressed. Now, Envision will help you to awaken again and renew again that drive that you may have lost. Maybe for that childhood situation, maybe also for a situation in life, in business life. Maybe you've been an employee and your boss forbid you to do certain things. Maybe he didn't want you to become better than him. Who knows? So there is many discouraging moments we experience with other human beings, and whatever their reasons are for suppressing us and suppressing our drive, don't let it get to you. And if you let it get to you, renew your inner drive. Overcome the fear. Begin experiencing new, more rewarding dimensions. And that means finally envision yourself as a bigger version of yourself. Don't play the small game. Who profits from you being small? How can you make the world a better place by being small? Envision yourself as a better, much bigger version of what you are at present. Contains the single oils of, guess what, spruce, sage, very interesting oil, the Druids already used. It's a very protecting, cleansing scent. Lavender, orange, geranium, remember your emotional energies, and rose. Now rose, of course, having this high frequency, and really the symbolical or actual flower of divine love helps you to inspire you. Envision is a phenomenal blend that just by looking at spruce, sage, lavender, orange, geranium, and rose, by what I've said so far, you know already this is a very special blend. Envision Oil Blend is suitable for emotional purposes. It will make you emotionally stronger. It will fortify you emotionally. You can diffuse it. You can inhale it. You can add it to the bathing water. Again, remember to use a emulsifier. And you can use Envision as a chakra oil on the central line from the tip of your nose to the hairline, and then especially focusing on the third eye. Spread it here to that morning and evening. You'll be amazed what it does for you envisioning your future and for you envisioning your larger version of yourself. And that was the catchphrase. Magnify your purpose, the larger version of yourself. What are you here for? What's your purpose? Make that purpose even bigger. Live it more. Live it more intensely. And if you ever wanted to have the proof that Gary Young is a genius, and of course that's only my private opinion, but these oils are the proof. It is sensational what Gary Young has created for all of us and for the whole world. Because these 15 oil blends, they are a sensational journey. I'm deeply grateful to Gary for the rest of my life. And what these oil blends do for all of us, it cannot be told in words. Put them in sequence. Now, if you ask, okay, Aditya, will I use them all 15 every day in the morning, all 15 oils, in the evening, all 15 oils, like a ritual? Well, you can, of course, but I would suggest you go step by step. And maybe in the beginning you use oil number 1, abundance, oil number 2, hope, oil number 3, motivation, and oil number 4, belief for the start. These 4 oils, and then maybe for a month work with oils 1 through 4. And then you will have more abundance mentality, you will have more hope, you will have more motivation, you will have learned the skill of self-motivation. Maybe you will also read my book, Network Marketing Relaunch, where this is really the basis, the art of self-motivation. And you will have belief. And then, from there, from these 4 first oils, you go in the second month to the oils number 5, envision, and number 6, magnify your purpose, and number 7, surprise, it will still come, and you work in month number 2 with 5, you envision a greater future, a greater version of yourself, greater goals. 6, what you need for that? Well, you need to magnify your purpose. And oil number 7, which will be revealed shortly. And this you use in month number 2. And you continue, for example, month number 3, you will continue with oils number 8, 9, and 10. Or maybe 5 and 6 will be enough for month number 2, because these are really special oils, envision and magnify your purpose. And many people don't spend enough time with these 2 special oils. And you might have the oil number 7, the mysterious, ominous oil number 7, for an extra month. Month number 3, only oil number 7. Why? You will find out shortly. So what does Magnify Your Purpose do? This essential oil blend increases creativity. Remember, creativity and resourcefulness. Focus, desire. Remember that also progress can be sexy. Spiritual development can be sexy. You can become more attractive. So desire in a spiritual sense, desire in a career sense, or also desire in a personal sense. And motivation, because if you hone desires in the right way, you can use them for motivation. And basically, what is your purpose? It is, of course, your why. Always start with why, if you've studied Simon Sinek. So magnify your purpose. This oil blend fosters a positive attitude towards life. It encourages us to rise above obstacles, seize the initiative, because if you don't seize the initiative, someone else will. Overcome procrastination. This is procrastination oil number 2. Oil number 6, Magnify Your Purpose, is overcoming procrastination oil. The first one was, remember, oil number 3, motivation. Overcome also self-pity. Now that's a big one. Many people feel so sad and so poor, and wow, why does it happen to me, and nobody's helping me. And then they spend a lot of energy and a lot of time and a lot of emotional awareness into feeling sad about themselves, into pitying themselves and how bad everything is, and that becomes a trap. Because people who pity themselves, first they draw attention from others who try to help them. And then they say, oh, people are looking for me when I'm so sad and downcast. And then they will continue to produce such victim situations where they pity themselves like, my God. And they become dependent on other people's energy. They become dependent on other people's attention. And that's not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is live your own greatness. The purpose of life is you have a purpose. You are special. Magnify your purpose. The special blend that you have here in front of you contains the single oils of sandalwood. Very interesting. Indians use it for activating the 3rd chakra. Rosewood again for balancing. Sage for protecting and purifying. Nutmeg for giving, a little fire. Patchouli again for grounding. It's quite interesting to see we have rosewood, which is grounding. We have patchouli, which is grounding, and we have ginger, which is a root. So what does that mean if in this oil blend there's 3 grounding oils inside, 3 grounding single oils? It means your purpose must be well grounded. You must have roots if you want to magnify your purpose. Otherwise, if it has weak roots, the tree will not grow very tall. Cinnamon bark, remember the solar fire. Cinnamon is the most solar of all plants. And you can diffuse this oil or use it for hand inhalation. Apply 2 to 4 drops on your wrists or temples. You can dilute it with V6 or any other carrier oil, including olive oil, for an invigorating and uplifting massage. Ideally, somebody else massaging you, and I tell you, sensational massage oil. Magnify your purpose. And you can add magnify your purpose to your bathing water with 2 spoons of Epsom salt, magnesium salt for additional unwinding and relaxing. But first of all, of course, the salt is there to work as an emulsifier for the oil, so that the oil better merges in the water. And here we are, number 7, the ominous oil transformation. And that's why I said maybe you spend a full month just with this oil transformation, because after what we did so far, oils 1 through 4, that is abundance, hope, motivation, and belief, we really gathered our strength, our positive energies. And then oil number 5 and 6, envision and magnify your purpose. We look up high into our high goal. We envision a greater version of ourselves and of what we are here for. And that will always lead to some energies or some incidences in your life that try to hold you back. It will lead to obstruct you. Obstacles will arise. If you just do what we did with oils 1 through 6, I can promise you some inner and outer obstacles will arise, because you will become a giant, but the world reacts to it, and even your own subconscious might react to it. And your subconscious will say, oh, but was I not that failure some time ago? Did I not succeed in this some time ago? Well, you did, but that's common to all of us. We all had our failures. We all had our defeats. But now we are going forward. And you are up on a journey now. But you will also awaken forces that try to obstruct you, that try to hold you back. And these can be internal forces, and these might be people around you, and these might be even external forces and energies in the universe, energies in life. This oil blend strengthens and supports the readiness to change your inner doctrines. This is the first and foremost, because what this journey is about becoming the bigger version of yourself, the larger version of yourself, it depends if your inner doctrines allow that, if your set of values allows that, if your beliefs allow that, if the inner story you're telling to yourself continually is allowing you that. And chances are your inner doctrines are smaller. Chances are the story you have told yourself about yourself so far is smaller. So now comes transformation. Obstructive mind patterns can be replaced with new and vivid thoughts, changing your overall attitude and behavior. That is the promise of this oil. And if you look at the ingredients, you can understand why. Lemon and peppermint, a very interesting pair, which of course is the perfect purifying pair, the perfect cleanser. Think of the vitality oils, lemon and peppermint, in drinking them. First half of the day, 1 liter of water with 1 drop of vitality lemon oil. Second half of the day, 1 liter of water with 1 drop of peppermint oil. Do that for 42 days, do that for 6 weeks, and you will have a nice physical transformation, even down to the cellular level. Idaho blue spruce, again, spruce, making you straight. And also the Idaho blue spruce has a particularly high vibration and energy. Clary sage, which is a very interesting oil for femininity. Frankincense, your spiritual callings. Sandalwood, your vision, your third eye. Cardamom, spice. Palo Santo, again a spiritual oil and also a protective oil. I would say a magical oil. And Ocotea, which could be called the cinnamon of the Amazon. And this is a very, very complex blend that Gary has created here for us, which truly does transform you, which can transform you physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Use it for emotional purposes. Whenever there's a feeling of, I don't want, this is too much for me, apply transformation, diffuse transformation, inhale transformation. Wrong thoughts come to your mind, obstructive thoughts, negative thoughts, thoughts that hold you down, belief patterns that hold you down. You inhale transformation. Use for bathing for 1 month, and as a chakra oil for all the 7 chakras every morning and evening. Apply topically on forehead, temples, back of the head, and neck. So that area, especially. It's like a helmet a little bit. You could even go all the way up here again to the temples. And you apply transformation all around. And you will see what that does if you do it for whole months. That's why I said maybe you save month 3 of this journey of 15 oils for this one oil blend alone to really transform all the obstructing energies. Because there's one thing about them. They may be strong enough to hold you back. They may be strong enough to hold you down. And they may have done so far in your life. But if they have the power to hold you back, if they have the power to obstruct you and hold you down, if you win these energies and transform them for your own purposes, then it will really propel you forward in a big way. That's why this is a very key oil, and it's placed in the middle of this 15 oils journey. And that brings us, if you would divide it into months or do it in different months, that brings us into month 4, oil number 8, into the future. Now that you have overcome hindrances, obstructions, obstacles, now that you've transformed energies that didn't want to go forward, now there is the future within your reach. And as William Shakespeare called it, the undiscovered country. The future is the undiscovered country. It's a country that's basically next door. Just we haven't looked at it yet. We have not discovered it yet. It's not a big affair. It's just up to you to discover it. And this blend, another genius, really a stroke of genius by Gary Young, is fantastic for leaving the past behind and giving you the courage to go into the future. It allows you to leave the past behind and go forward. Into the Future was designed to increase feelings of determination and a pioneering spirit. Instead of accepting mediocrity, playing it small, keeping yourself average, out of fear of the unknown, because that's what usually keeps people average. They just want to do what everybody does, what the mainstream does. Well, you can be an evolutionary agent for yourself and for many other people if you use Into the Future. If you overcome the fear of the unknown. If you just understand it's just an undiscovered country, the future into which we are going and which is yours to discover. And this helps you also to increase the enjoyment of challenges. So for some people, challenges are something they want to avoid. Ask me, I love challenges because I know challenges bring out the best in me. I grow stronger because I have challenges. If I'm not challenged, why would I ever become stronger? Same with you. And this oil blend will help you to bravely march towards your success. It contains the single oils of clary sage. Again, see oil number 7, clary sage, oil number 8, clary sage. So there is a certain theme here in this oil journey. Ilang ilang, again, remember balancing your masculinity, femininity. Now, white fur, something we didn't have so far, very interesting in terms of the future. You know how ephemeral white fur is. And the future is already there in the Akashic records. It's just yours to discover. Idaho tansy, juniper, strong herbs, protective herbs, grounding herbs, Jasmine, interestingly, the purity flower, an oil that is excellent for the heart and excellent for heightening your femininity. This is an oil that is important not only for all women but also for all men, because we live in a civilization where the divine feminine, and jasmine is great in representing divine femininity, where the divine feminine is underrepresented. Even many women in our day and age, in order to be successful, become masculine. Now, our whole civilization needs to go a little bit back to these wonderful qualities of divine femininity, and jasmine is the right oil for that. Frankincense, God the Father. Orange, again, remember what I told you about orange already when we spoke about the abundance plant. And cedarwood, an oil that stands at the beginning of the oil journey of humankind. The first oil that was distilled already 6,500 years ago in the kingdom of King Solomon. All these oils in the base of almond oil. Inhale into the future, diffuse into the future. Add it to bathing water, apply above the heart, on your wrists, on your neck. Use it for hot or warm compress, so you can really apply it like for 5 or 10 minutes. Wherever you really want to absorb the oil, using a wet towel, a warm, or hot, not too hot of course, wet towel, and that really allows you to absorb these aroma essences even deeper. Or dilute with V6 carrier oil to use as a massage oil. Oil number 9, and if you do it as a program, these 15 oils journey, then that would be still in month number 4. Together with Into the Future, live with passion. Live with passion helps you to regain your zest for life. It increases your vigor with a special formula that was developed to help people regain an optimistic attitude towards life. Now, live with passion has a lot to do with what have you suppressed. Why did you think your passion is not good or maybe not pure? Don't do that, it's dirty. Be a good girl, be a good boy. Many of us have been conditioned with, no, this is dirty, good girls don't do this, good boys don't do this, and we have suppressed our passion. And this is very important for you to know. Your passion makes you live. And what you're living for, what you're working for, do it with passion. Otherwise, it's like, it's like cold coffee. Of course, cold coffee has also its niceties, but it's not hot coffee. So I don't want you to live a shallow life. I don't want you to live a cold coffee life. I want you to live the full life. Live with passion, that's the plan for that. It contains the single oils of clary sage. And again, you see here, these last oils, 7, 8, 9, all contain clary sage. That very deep feminine oil. It gives you the depth of feminine energy. Ginger, root, sandalwood, third eye, vision, jasmine, divine femininity. You get the picture. It's very interesting to look at the ingredients and to see where the journey takes us. Angelica, another root oil that has been used by the Druids to protect against harmful influences. Cedarwood, again, we had it in 8 oil. Into the Future, we have it now in the 9th oil. Cedarwood is also in Live with Passion. It's the protection tree. It's the original oil, Immortelle, the helichrysum, what the French call immortelle. Of course, it's a plant that doesn't make you immortal, but still it has some aspect, a helichrysum. And it means that you live the life to the fullest. That will make you immortal. If you live your life with passion, people will remember you. Your kids, your works, whatever you have created, even once you're gone. you will be an immortal. But if you live without passion, you are just also ran, you will not be remembered. Of course, that's an interpretation of what immortal means, not strictly speaking about the helichrysum flower. Patchouli, another grounding oil. Look how interestingly Gary uses ginger, uses angelica, uses patchouli, root oils and grounding oils to live our passion, because we must be well grounded if we go pedal to the metal. If you don't have that grounding when you apply full force, when you apply full passion, then it might become dangerous. Neroli being the orange blossom for high spiritual thoughts, idealistic thoughts, high perception. And Melissa, again, protecting. Live with passion is a very well-guarded formula, which keeps you contained, but still at the same time lets you develop your full energy. For hand inhalation, for diffusing, applying on the wrists, on your temples, on your forehead, and in the middle of your chest. Great if you use it for your bathtub, if you use it in bathing water. Again, use an emulsifier like 2 spoons of Epsom salt, magnesium salt, or you can use any other emulsifier that you like. Now we come to the next phase. And if you would take it as a journey, this is month 5, oil number 10, oil number 11. We have, with oils number 1 through 4, abundance, hope, motivation, and belief really started the horses. Then we have, with oil number 5, envision, oil number 6, magnify your purpose, really looked up to how far can we go. Then month 3, oil number 7, transformation, now to overcome energies that would want to hold us back, mental doctrines that would want to hold us back, inner and outer enemies that had to be transformed. Then the next step, in month 4, we head into the future and live with passion. So basically, if you think about being a rocket, that was the next, real propulsion. So oils number 8 and 9, into the future and live with passion as your rocket propulsion to go even further in month 4. Now we get to oil number 10, grounding, and oil number 11, common sense, which is very important that you do not shoot out too far. So always be grounded and always do things with common sense. And that is what the next 2 oils, number 10 and number 11, are going to teach us. Grounding is a balancing and relaxing essential oil blend with the ability to stabilize our being. Where emotional confusion results in poor decision making. Emotional confusion results in poor decision making. Very important. It means when you're in emotional turmoil, don't make decisions. And I give you a golden rule for how to make decisions. When it's not a clear yes, it's a clear no. If you have doubts, it's a no. Don't force yourself into a yes. When it's not a clear yes, it's a clear no. Grounding helps you to cover with reality in a positive way. It's very important. People who stand with their feet on the ground, who are solid, they can deal with life, with reality in a positive way. Having both feet on the ground makes you emotionally more balanced. If you're emotionally balanced, you can take proper decisions. Otherwise, by deciding in an emotional turmoil, you will create further disaster for yourself. Grounding is an amazing oil. Once I saw a horse looking like a Buddha in meditation. And that was in a raindrop training for horses. Not the horses were trained. People were trained how to give the raindrop technique to horses. And that was a horse that wouldn't stand still. And they applied valor to the horse, didn't work. They applied peace and calming to the horse, didn't work. Finally, they applied grounding all along the belly of the horse. And the horse froze and looked like a Buddha in meditation. For 10 solid minutes, that horse wouldn't move. It was unbelievable. I've never seen such a thing. Now, animals, of course, are very susceptible to energies, to vibrations. So probably that oil grounding really does its job. Grounding contains the single oils of white fir. Now, interestingly, remember we had white fir in Into the Future. Now, here it is again. White fir can make you crystal clear. Spruce, remember, the main suspect of this 15 oil journey is definitely spruce. Ylang ylang, balancing your femininity and masculinity. Pine, which we didn't have so far in any blend. Angelica, the root that protects, that has been used already by the Druids to protect against negative influences. Cedarwood, the protection tree. And juniper, another oil and plant that has been used by Druids to protect against negative energies and negative influences. So that is the formula for grounding. And now having spruce and having pine and having cedarwood, you have strong roots that help you to ground. Grounding oil blend is suitable for emotional purposes, makes you feel, remember the horse becoming the Buddha, makes you really well balanced and grounded. To diffuse, to inhale, to apply topically on the bottom of your feet, on your ankles, inside and outside, and on your knees. And it's also very interesting. Sometimes the knees are energetically blocked. And that's why we are not grounded. So take care of your foot chakras, take care of your ankles, and take care of your knees. And apply the oil there. And then if you want, do some Tai Chi, or do some Qigong, or do some Chan Chong exercises, standing there for 10-15 minutes in one position. And just feel the energy flowing through your knees, through your ankles, through your feet. Feel how you're being grounded, how you strike root. Of course, also you can use this oil by adding it to bathing water. And as you have seen throughout this journey, many of these oil blends are great as perfumes, and many of these oils are great also in the bathtub. Speaking about it, grounding is great for insecure people. If people are insecure among other people, they apply grounding as a perfume, makes them super solid. And here we have common sense. Remember, if you would take the journey month by month, I would recommend you to take this oil blend together with grounding in the 5th month. Common Sense was interestingly designed by Gary Young to meet the needs of sensitive spiritual people, which at the same time long to keep both feet planted firmly on the ground. Does that remind you of something? The ability to make and establish strong and rational decisions. The ability to make and establish strong and rational decisions is what enables leaders to guide others towards increased wellness, purpose, and abundance. So that oil blend has been formulated by Gary Young especially for his distributors, especially for his team builders, for his distributors. Because they are the ones who are the example for others. They must have common sense. They must be with their feet planted firmly on the ground. They must be the ones who can make strong decisions and who can execute strong decisions. That means put the decision into action. This oil blend contains frankincense, again for divine inspiration, divine guidance, ylang ylang, balancing your femininity, masculinity, ocotea, the Amazon version of cinnamon, goldenrod from Canada, wonderful flower, golden flower, which has a connection with the throat center, with the center of creativity, the Vishuddha chakra. Ruta caveolens, another plant from the Amazon. Dorado azul, another plant from the Amazon. And lime. Lime, like lemon, brings concentration. And it's very helpful in seeing through things and in seeing things as they really are, which you need for common sense. Now, this is an amazing oil blend because you have Ocotea not rutavala, that's another plant that contains Ruta caveolens. So Ocotea, Ruta caveolens, and Dorado azul, 3 Amazon plants inside. And you have this Canadian goldenrod, which is important for the throat center, for creativity. And the lime for concentration, for seeing things as they are. And the frankincense for divine guidance. And the ylang ylang for balancing male and female. That in the formula for common sense. Why am I laying out to you all these singular ingredients of the oils? Well, it makes sense to look into them. Because basically, that's how to learn, that's the ABC of oil blends, is what single oils are included. This oil, at least in Europe, is for aromatic use only. Diffuse up to 30 minutes, 3 times a day, or inhale. Different markets, different regulations. So I don't know if in the US or in other parts of the English-speaking world it can be also used for other purposes than aromatic use. I can tell you it is enough to put it in the diffuser and have it, for example, in your home office, in your office rooms, in your decision-making environment. Will help you greatly to have the proper common sense. And now we finally go for the conquest. We go for the top. Month 6, the oils number 12, 13, 14, and 15. We finish this journey of oils as we started. 4 oils in the beginning, oils 1 through 4, and now oils 12 through 15 for reaching the top, reaching the peak. Highest Potential is a blend that many Young Living Diamond and above distributors use on an everyday basis before they start working on whatever they do on the particular day. This exotic blend of therapeutic grade essential oils was developed to increase our ability to reach our highest potential. It combines the uplifting and inspiring properties of Australian Blue. And Australian Blue, mind you, is a great oil for the gut, for the belly, for, making decisions with the guts. Why? Because the Australian shaman, the Aborigines, they are probably the greatest living people on this planet in terms of gut knowledge, in terms of really trusting your belly. Australian Blue, if you use just Australian Blue, a great oil to put around your navel and on your guts and to develop that instinct. With the strength of Gathering, another blend that is for gathering your focus, your concentration. Gathering, also a great oil blend for mastermind groups and also for brainstorming and also for prayer together or concentration together. So what did I just show you? Australian Blue for the belly, brain, and Gathering for the brain, for the head brain. And now what is in between? Jasmine and ylang ylang for the heart. Jasmine, the one flower for divine femininity, and ylang ylang for balancing masculinity and femininity. And you could say, well, maybe a drop of rose would have made it perfect, because the rose is the utmost flower of the heart. But as I see it, Highest Potential is already complete because it gives you support for your head brain, for your gut brain, and for your heart brain, which are all three most important faculties that we have: the intellect, the intuition, and the instinct. And really, that is what many people are missing out. In order to reach your highest potential, you need to activate all three brains: your head brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain, and have them work in harmony. While jasmine enhances self-confidence, ylang ylang's calming and soothing qualities help to release unpleasant emotions. And that's also very important. I told you that ylang ylang balance masculinity, femininity. Sometimes that's a root of unpleasant emotions. We feel we are not good enough, we are not man enough, we are not woman enough, or we are too weak as a woman, or we are too weak as a man. And these are many emotions that can hinder us. Now, ylang ylang can help you release unpleasant emotions. So it contains two plants, Australian blue and gathering, and it contains two single oils, ylang ylang and jasmine. Diffuse, inhale, use as a chakra oil on the third eye, on the central line between hairline and tip of the nose. Apply topically behind the ears and on the neck. Highest potential is also suitable for emotional uses. Which emotional uses? Well, where you feel emotionally, I'm great, I'm a genius, I reach my highest potential, versus you feel you're not good enough. You feel that's all you are and more you cannot do. So that emotion of feeling mediocre versus the emotion of feeling great, the emotion of reaching out to become the best that you can be. And that also needs acceptance. To accept that you are a genius, to accept that you are a genius being, a unique being, that you are a unique creation of the universe or a unique child of God, that everything is inside you. Many people cannot accept their greatness because they also have a hard time accepting their poorer qualities. Now, this is the oil blend that helps you to accept both your divinity, the highest, that you might not even have envisioned yet about yourself, as well as accept the lowest, the things that you might want to brush under the carpet. Because that's all you, and we are all like that. Each of us is like heaven and hell. It's both inside us. Accept it, and then learn to live with it. Combine it. Become complete. You are everything. But only you can master that everything that you are, that bundle of so many different energies and thoughts and emotions, if you accept it. If you accept it in its totality. In specific, while soothing sorrowful emotions, the blend of acceptance fosters the feelings of strength and trust in our minds. Thereby, acceptance enables us to open ourselves to new ideas and reach our highest potential. So, sorrowful emotions, where do they come from? Well, we come to terms with things we didn't actually want to accept. We wanted to brush under the carpet, but here they are. We did wrong. We had feelings of guilt, or we have feelings of guilt. We have sorrowful emotions. But we should not let them paralyze us. We accept them because we trust, because we are still good enough. And that coming to terms with all the negatives, all that causes us sorrow and spite and guilt, and shouldering it and accepting it, that makes us open to reach our greatness. This blend helps also people who tend to procrastinate. Bingo! This is the third oil that helps you against procrastination. Oil number 3, which one was it? Motivation. Oil number 6, which one was it? Magnify your purpose. And again, oil number 13, acceptance, an anti-procrastination oil. And it's quite interesting that by suppressing things, by putting things under the carpet, by not accepting things, we actually procrastinate. Because these energies that we sweep under the carpet, they're needed. And we can use them only if we accept even the negatives, because it's part of us, it's part of our energy. So only then, when we have these energies reintegrated, we will regain the decisiveness and we will regain the action energy that we need to stop procrastinating and to stop denying things to ourselves. And only then we can overcome our habits, bad habits. By accepting them, we can overcome them. Acceptance contains the single oils of rosewood, geranium, frankincense, and I told you something about each of these single oils already. Blue tansy. Another oil which is very interesting, but blue tansy as rosewood are oils that are difficult to get because the plants are endangered, and Young Living, of course, is very conscious and uses plants only when there is enough of the plants. That means often reforestation projects, and if there are endangered plant species, then they cannot be used. And then what does Gary Young do in such a case? He comes up with another great new oil formula. So blue tansy, as I know it, is hard to get, but it's not an endangered plant species, and it has wonderful qualities. It is really blue like ink. And for me, just to smell blue tansy, it makes me feel, whoa. For me, that's better than vanilla. This is really, wow. I'm really at one with everything. Atonement, at one-ment. That's something that blue tansy can give you, and now you get it. Why is it an acceptance? Because really, if you have any emotional allergies, any resistances whatsoever against something that you cannot accept, if you use blue tansy, it makes it acceptable for you. Sandalwood and neroli for the clear spirit and for the spiritual sight in the base of almond oil. Inhale acceptance. This is really a good oil to have with you, especially if you come into unacceptable situations. Diffuse in your rooms, in your home, add to bathing water, apply on all the chakras, because very often we are resisting in more than one chakra. And it's also suitable for many emotional purposes, especially the purpose of overcoming our resistance and our defense mechanisms and our brushing under the carpet, simply because we can't accept what cannot be accepted. And that brings us to gratitude. So in this final month, if we want to divide these 15 oils into 6 months, gratitude, of course, is in the final stretch of the journey. Gratitude is a master discipline. And as an oil blend, Gary has created another super oil blend, which is very soothing and which is developed to elevate the spirit, calm the emotions, and bring relief to the body. You can just let go while helping to foster a grateful attitude. It's interesting. Have you noticed that when you're ungrateful, you're tense? But when you're grateful, you let go. And the funny thing, by letting go, you soften. And by softening, you can attract again. Whereas when you're hardened, you cannot attract. So gratitude makes you magnetic, because gratitude softens you. When used for bathing, and of course I really urge you, take every day for 1 month a bath in gratitude. Creates a peaceful atmosphere and a feeling of freedom. And that's now a very deep thought. When you're ungrateful, you feel like a slave. You feel like you have no freedom. When you're grateful for yourself, and grateful for everything. Grateful to the Creator, to the universe. Grateful to everyone. Even grateful to the not so good things that happen because maybe they have a meaning, maybe they help you in some way, maybe they are needed. You become free. Gratitude makes you free. Try that in month 6. Every day a gratitude bath. As it acts nourishing and supportive to the skin, here is a number of oils that are great for the skin, including rosewood, ylang ylang, and myrrh, and also frankincense. Gratitude is the perfect oil for skincare. That means you don't want to take bath? Fine. For 1 month, use gratitude on your skin, but also apply not just on your facial skin, apply on all your chakras, especially your chest. Dilute with V6 oil complex before applying on the skin, not because it would be too strong or a hot oil blend. No, it isn't. It is very soft, very gentle, but just so you save some oil. So 1 drop is very concentrated. Gratitude also contains the single oils of Idaho balsam fir and of frankincense. And this is also quite interesting. According to the Bible, the gifts of frankincense, myrrh, and gold that were brought to the baby Jesus. According to some research, frankincense was the resin frankincense, or possibly even the oil frankincense. Myrrh was the resin myrrh, possibly even the oil myrrh, which is much more concentrated. And gold was the balsam fir, because it was more precious than gold in those days. To get balsam fir, where did it come from? From the northern countries, and was not easy to get balsam fir into Palestine in those days, so they referred to it as gold. So this is interesting. You have these 3 oils, frankincense, myrrh, and balsam fir, that possibly were the 3 gifts to the baby Jesus, included in that gratitude oil blend. Suitable for emotional purpose. It's a great emotion to be grateful, and it's a very nasty emotion if you're ungrateful. Diffuse, inhale, apply on your chakras, and dilute with V6 or any other carrier oil like olive oil. Now we reach the goal by surrendering our ego to the higher self, surrendering our limited human will and human vision to the divine, to God, to the divine vision, to the divine guidance. By itself, this oil blend is sensational, containing Roman chamomile, lavender, German chamomile, really making you soft, because you cannot surrender if you're not soft and open. Lemon, you still keep direction, you're focused. Spruce, you're straight. Angelica, the root that protects. And mountain savory, a very interesting oil that has interesting energies that spice up. Some people say, oh, if I surrender, everything becomes boring. Not at all. Then the journey really starts once you're surrendered, because then your higher journey starts, which is why this is at the end of this 15 oil journey. At the same time, it can be at the beginning of a higher journey if you have learned the art of surrender. Whatever happens, happens for a reason, and it is good as it is. You accept it, you're grateful to it, and you're surrendered. This oil blend quiets our hearts and enables us to release unpleasant emotions. Surrender may also help return feelings of equilibrium and inner strength into our life. And in fact, it does. Because as long as we are not surrendered, we are constantly fighting against this and that and wanting it in that way, and I want it this way. And then we have no equilibrium. We are full of quarrel and fight. But the moment we surrender, we attain equilibrium. And by attaining our equilibrium, we are coming back to our true inner strength. Another oil that is great for emotional purposes, great for diffusing, for inhaling, in the bathtub, apply on the tip of the nose, apply on the middle of the chest on your heart chakra, or apply on all 7 chakras. Do that every morning and every evening for full months, and you will be surprised what happens. Surrender, relatively unpopular or not often referred to oil, is in my perception one of the most special blends that Gary has created, because it gives you access to that most special ability to surrender, to let go of the lower, to become the higher, to surrender to the divine guidance, to surrender to your higher self, and to let go of your lower self. In the words of the Bible, Saul that became Paul. So before surrender he was Saul. After surrender he became Paul, Paulus from the Bible. That was the 15 spiritual oil blends, the 15 oil blends for personal development. You can always look me up on Facebook. I'll be glad to be in contact with you. Facebook.com/Aditya Novotny. And you can also, of course, look at my website, adityanovotny.com. I'll be happy to be in contact with you and to be of service to you. All the best on this great journey with these 15 spiritual oil blends.